Okay, the first half of 3.3, it was about the implicit differentiation, or the case that you have the the function that in the implicit form. So the steps of finding the derivative. So your goal is to find dy by dx, and y is not explicit form. So what you have to do, step number one, you find d by dx to all terms. And then step number two, you solve for dy by dx. Okay. As a quick example, I pick one problem from the review. Okay, from the review, which if we have x to the third minus 8 times xy plus 4y squared equals 6x. This is problem 2D on the review for exam 2, and your goal is to find dy by dx. To find dy by dx using the implicit differentiation, I used one quick example before we move on to related rate. So step number one, you're gonna find the derivative with respect to x to all terms. So d by dx of x to the third minus d by dx of 8 times xy plus d by dx of 4 times y squared equals d by dx of 6x. Okay, and I pointed out to you guys that look at the variable. You have x here. Okay, you have x, you have x, you have x and x. Otherwise, for the other term, you have y involving into the expression before you find the derivative. So the one that involving y, you're gonna treat it by using the general power rule or the chain rule when you find the derivative with respect to x. So for the first one, the derivative x to the third with respect to x, you have 3x squared. Derivative of 6x, you get 6. So the front and the back terms, they are good. But the second term here, you have x times y. You're going to use the product rule. So this is the product rule because you see the product term. And when you use the product rule, recall, you're going to have, I'm going to put the 8 as a coefficient, okay? So it's going to be the first term times derivative of the second plus the derivative of the first times the second one. Remember the f g prime plus g f prime times g, something like that. And then the next one, you see the y, you're going to use the general power rule. So general power rule. And how do we use a general power rule? 4 as a 4. I'm going to clean up a little bit here to make some room. Oops, it didn't go. Eh, it didn't delete this for me. So let me see. Undo. Okay, try to switch in here. So going to be 2 times y times dy by dx, and then equals 6 here. And to get this is from 4 is from the coefficient, and then 2 times y is from the derivative of y squared, and multiplied by dy by dx. This part is from the general power rule. Okay, so what we have now, we get the derivative of all terms. We simplify as much as we can to get 3x squared minus, I'm going to apply 8 to all terms. So 8 multiplied by x times dy by dx. And then the dx equals 1. This is 1. Now, we have the second term as plus 1 times y, but multiplied by 8, going to be negative 8y, and then plus 8y dy by dx equals 6. So we simplify until we see like individual terms after we apply the derivative or with respect to x. And then step number 1 done, right? Step number 2, we're going to solve for dy by dx. So step 2, solve for dy by dx. So your goal is to find out what is dy by dx. From the simplified expression, we have two places here containing dy by dx. We're going to write it in the grouping form by keeping the term with the dy by dx in one side. So negative 8x dy by dx plus 8y dy by dx equals, and move all the terms that non dy by dx to the other side. Okay. Again, your goal is to find dy by dx. Since we keep the dy by dx term together and we see this as the common factor, that means we have negative 8x plus 8y multiplied by dy by dx equals negative 3x squared plus 8y plus 6. One more thing to do. Divide both sides by negative 8x plus 8y. And then you're going to get the expression for dy by dx in the form of negative 3x squared plus 8y plus 6, all divided by negative 8x plus 8y as the answer for the dy by dx.